Miller and I.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone's out there staying safe. And today we're talking about Metro 2033. The footage is going to be from the Redux version, so it'll look a little bit better than the game originally did back when it first came out. So let's just dig right on into it. So this is a linear, story-driven shooter. It's a first-person shooter. You're in the shoes of a man named Artyom, and the gameplay footage we have here is going to be all pretty much the prologue. Pretty much all from the prologue and early game stuff. So I'm just gonna come right off onto the tin and say that this is a good game. This is a very good game. 83% of people on Steam agree with me. Out of all the reviews overall, it's very positive. The regular price is by itself is $19.99 on Steam. Usually for like $30 to $35 or so, you can get a bundle with Metro 2033 Redux as well as Metro Last Light Redux. And now that Metro Exodus has been also released on Steam finally, you can also go ahead and get a bundle for just the whole trilogy. And honestly, I'm just gonna say it. The whole trilogy is really damn good. This is a really, really damn good story. The game does have horror elements, and it is post-apocalyptic. It takes place in the metropolitan railway stations and systems underneath Moscow in Russia after the nuclear apocalypse. And, you know, people are just kind of holding out, doing what they can, doing their best, and trying to fight off the mutants and stuff. The Redux for the game looks very good. The same goes for Last Light. 2033 and Last Light both look fantastic. Metro Exodus is one of the very small handful of games that actually utilizes ray tracing. But we'll talk more about that once we do a video on that game. That's one of my favorite games of all time, was Metro Exodus, actually. So I absolutely would love to do a video on that. But you're not really much of a badass yet here in Metro 2033. You're already kind of a badass in Metro Exodus, but in Metro 2033, you're just a regular dude who's given a mission by a badass that you knew, and well, you're going for it. You're definitely going for it. This game is, well, it's a Redux, so obviously the game's fairly old. I don't recall offhand what the release of the original game was, like what year it came out, so I can't really comment too much on that. But I do know that the story more or less focuses around trying to find a solution to a problem with these creatures referred to as the Dark Ones, or as some people refer to them in the game, the Homo Novus, which are considered to be a higher evolved version of humans. And the game does have two endings, and it does have a morality system. Though I will say the morality system is fine. It's not the best morality system I've ever seen, but it serves its purpose in this game. The only real downside is that it doesn't really explain itself, and you don't really have a good way of knowing exactly whether or not you're doing good. But you'll see in the gameplay, when I take the postcard from Hunter, that the screen kind of has like a blue flash about it, you know, like it's really, really gentle, not too intrusive, but that's how you know you got good points, if you will. And getting enough of those will alter the end of the game so you can get the good ending. So with all three of the games, there's obviously a canon ending and then an alternate ending. Fun fact, playing through all three of the trilogy, I got the bad endings in all three of the games the first time around. So that's cool. But, you know, it is what it is. The story's great. There's literally no complaints to playing through it again. Again, the game has horror elements. The atmospheric horror in this game is fucking phenomenal. They did such a good job building this atmosphere and really, really amplifying the tension. You gotta pay attention to every single little thing. You gotta be careful with what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're spending your ammo. You gotta be careful about, you know, the path that you're taking. Like, it's a linear game, but there's definitely some side exploration to do, and you know, usually you're gonna want to do the side exploration because there's stuff there. You know, you might find some kind of gear that will, you know, ultimately help you out. But if you just don't have the ammo to be doing it, then you have to really weigh that in. I don't have a lot of ammo left. Do I have enough ammo to complete this side thing? Do I even have enough ammo to get to where I'm going normally, even if I avoid it? What am I doing? You know, the game has stealth. The stealth, I think, is one of the most well-implemented stealth systems in a first-person shooter. You'll have your stealth system works directly off of Artyom's Nixie watch that he wears on his wrist. There's like a little blue light that lights up if you're visible, and when you're not visible, it's not lit up. So that's a great way to non-intrusively indicate whether or not, you know, you are currently in stealth or not, or whether or not you're visible currently or not. Likewise, you can shoot out lights, silence your weapons, and so on and so forth. It's a very well fleshed out stealth system. I very much enjoy it, and honestly, the game's stealth system is fleshed out because I really think that they intended you to play it through stealthy. You also have to manage your gas mask, because obviously, if you're gonna go up on the surface post-nuclear apocalypse, you can't just breathe in that nuclear fallout. It'll kill you. You need to have, you know, protection against that, and your gas mask is your first line of defense against nuclear fallout. But filters are only going to be good for so long, so you have to maintain that. There's a button to wipe the garbage, blood splatter, and raindrops off of your gas mask visor. You know, the little touches here and there that really just add to the immersion, because they really do. They really just add to the immersion. They just make the game just feel that much better, that much more fun. The guns, they feel great. The gunplay feels very well done, very well put together. I have a lot of enjoyment when I play this game. There's a nice combination between, you know, properly constructed guns like your good old-fashioned AK to hodgepodge, you know, shambled together guns that, you know, you would kind of expect to see in a situation where you don't have a lot of guns, but you need a lot of guns. And if you're in a situation where there's more need than have, more demand than supply, then you have to find a solution. You know, if it's a matter of life and death. You can't just have people walking around unarmed when there's these wild mutants wandering around and breaking in every so often. Anyone at any time could very well be killed. So there's just a whole lot to do here. There's a whole lot to enjoy here. And again, the storytelling is very good. Between each chapter, if you will, of the game, you'll get a loading screen that will also show you a map and kind of where you're traversing from one point to the next. And you'll get like a little monologue from Artyom. And that's the only dialogue you actually get directly out of Artyom in the game. It's a weird choice in my opinion, considering that because of that he is voiced, but he's just not voiced outright in the story. A little bit of a weird choice. There's not really any dialogue options you can pick in text chat, but that's fine. The characters themselves, though, the other characters, Artyom is a good character. I think he's the glimpse you get into his personality from hearing his little monologues between levels and reading his journal entries when you find the little journal items throughout the levels as well. I think you get a good look at his character, and I think he is a good character. But the other characters, the whole cast is well put together, well written characters. You know, there's a lot of Russianisms, if you will, a lot of, you know, Russian slang being thrown around and stuff. And yeah, it's overall just a really good game. We're gonna look at the other two in the trilogy without a doubt. But for now, this has been of my video on Metro 2033 Redux. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe out there. And like, comment, subscribe, grease that bell button if you like it. Feel free to dislike if I've earned it. And of course, I will fucking see you later.
The devil knows what's happening out there, beyond your perimeter. I must go recon the situation. Listen carefully at him. If I'm not back here by morning, you must get to police station and find a man named Miller. Tell him what's happened to me, and what's stirring in the northern tunnels. Show this to Miller, so he knows I've sent you. I trust everything to you, Artyom. Don't let me down. If we are to survive, this threat must be eliminated, no matter